I'm on. Is it not showing? Hello. 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 How about that, R. Kelly, huh? Fucking R. Kelly. Always pulling some shit. Always pulling some piss. He only pisses on the best, though. Damn. I need to cut my fucking hair. Hate having to worry about whether my hair's straight or not. No. And I got fucking dust in it. Thank you, Chacho. How about that juicy smole? Juicy smole? I don't know, man. That's out there. That's fucking out there. It does no good for anyone for him to have done that. What a fucking piece of shit. What a piece of shit. So how's everyone doing today? Orders are back up. And sorry, Irie. Like I said, Bryn told me I was being too mean. Anyway, yeah. Orders back up. Processing them. Have I tried Neville's Haze before? Of course. One of the best hazes on earth. That and Mango Haze are up at the two tops for me, and Piff, of course. But as far as lines you can just get, Neville's Haze and Mango Haze are where I go to for haze. Awesome. Spray ordered. It should be processed pretty soon. Once I'm off this, I'll process them. So, with that said, hey, Ryan, I sent you an email. Check it. Ryan. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm saying Ryan. That's how I say it in my head. Ryan. But yeah, I can go back and process orders now. So anybody who had sent an order that wasn't processed within the past, 2 weeks, I sent you an email, and I need you to respond with a specific phrase so that I have it saved. But I'm not going to process anyone's orders. I'm not going to process anyone's orders without their permission, of course, because it's been a few weeks, and people sometimes don't keep money in their bank or don't have it after 2 weeks. So I want to make sure that no one is put in that position. So everybody needs to reply with that I sent an email to. So last night I was so stoned. I was smoking some of this, let's see. I'm about to give another breeder a plug, but whatever. I don't mind doing that if it's good. It's hard to see. Man, I can't do this shit any justice. Oh, it has to be on the front side of the camera.
Stop showing my tape job.
Oh, God. Just stop, Bryn.
So ghetto.
All right. Hey, this ain't working. Anyways, it's the Triangle Cross to Gelato 33. I was so stoned last night, I found myself watching videos about, what was it? It was Super Mario Brothers, number 1, level 4-2, and the intricacies of level 4-2, and speed runs. I have never done a speed run. I haven't played Super Mario Brothers since I was a little kid, but there I was so stoned, I was watching a fucking video about how to do speed runs of Super Mario Brothers level 4-2. God damn. Yeah, so props to Skunk Tech on this Grove Gelato 33 Triangle. Shit's a bomb. Bomb. Yeah, it's a JBZ one. It is a JBZ one. I believe it's the Triangle Cross to G33 PX1 or Triangle BX1. I don't know. But yeah, it was pretty epic. It fucked me up. Anyway, yeah, that was kind of funny. And then I think I went on to the history of Punch-Out! I ended up watching Punch-Out!, and that's where I went. Yeah, that's that. That's all the news I got for you. See you guys later. Just kidding. So hit me with some questions so I don't stand here just rambling, or sit here rambling, talking about Super Mario Brothers and the history of Punch-Out!, because that's really fucking boring. The last time we had the video up, it looks like we got to like 167 people in here. I want to see if we can beat that today. Don't know, but we shall see. that's pretty amazing, and I thank all you guys for supporting and staying and watching the whole thing, because that's pretty awesome too. The stats are showing that people are actually staying and watching the whole fucking thing, which I'm not that entertaining to me, but I appreciate it. Do you know the dude from Strawberry Fields family in Vermont? I do not. And I don't know the history of Strawberry Fields other than that it's an Erd beer haze of some sort. The lights the girls are under right now are Dimlux 630 watt CMH, and they love it. Just watched a video about winning Mike Tyson's Punch-Out blindfold. You know I'm going to go search that right after this, because like now I got to know. RiotSeeds, good now, good once now. Nah, no real breeders on staff. Burn those who actually were. You know, that's I can't say, man. I know Caleb is friends with the guy who runs RiotSeeds now. I was friends with Charlie, and I am, as far as I know. I haven't talked to him in a while, but Charlie didn't have anything good to say about Doobie, and I've never known Charlie to be a scammer. But there's two sides to everything, so who knows, man.
Tell one I'm coloring on his package, and then it's going out.
Why didn't it just be a surprise?
Well, he doesn't know what I'm coloring.
Okay, there you go, Juan. Let's see. A good 120 volt light on the market. I was using the Solistech for the 120 volt. It was a 315 CMH, and they were fucking epic. Epic. So I don't know what the state of their company is right now or anything. Their previous employee implied that it's not doing so well, but I can't say. I hope they're doing well. They were good to me. Ice cream cake, I have no idea. At F4, should there be much variance between phenos, or pretty identical? It just depends on the breeder and what direction they've taken it, and if they're good at doing selections. You can have a shitty breeder take stuff to F4 and it be more variant than F2 if they're doing it wrong, you know. In-house in Colorado, what can you tell us about them? Two very different companies. Two very, very different companies. In-house is newer, nice enough guy. He puts out a lot of hybrids. I know there's the stuff with Fletcher going on right now with the Slurricane. I don't, you know, I'm staying out of that one. Colorado, very good friend. Been around a long time. He's excellent at making feminized hybrids, reversals, doing reversals. He's put out some really good shit, and I've used a lot of it over the years. The grape, what is it called? Grape pie? Is that what it's called? God, why am I blanking on that? Grape pie. And I had his Legend cross to AJ Sour, cross to Chem 91 too. It was fucking insane. And the Watermelon Kush cross to Sourdub. What do you think you might find in the Fairfax Boy? I don't know. The clone's new to me, so it's going to be a long time before I do any releases of it. We properly test shit. We run it. We want to make sure it's good before it goes out. Best OG seeds available. If you want pure OG, Karma's OG is really good. All of his OG works very, very good and consistent for pulling out best OG, like pure OGs. As far as my stuff, I'm really liking the Master Yoda OG crossed to Skittles, which is called the Force, but that's definitely an OG hybrid. There's a lot of people putting out pure OGs out there. Tacoma's got his PCS line, his PCS lines, and those are OG Kush hybrids, but definitely leaning more towards pure OG as opposed to anything else. So you got those, and they're all pretty awesome. Slots on Soma Seeds. He's having everybody else make his seeds for him now. He outsources and brings them in, and there's not much of Soma left, so I wouldn't recommend it now unless you get old cuts. I've never seen that cut, Big Red. Super Silver Haze Santa Tias. I've never heard of it. I know the old sod cut, and that one's bomb. History of the Afghani, man, I do that every episode. I'll do it later if someone else really wants to get in on it. Last one, I figured you were knowledgeable. Buddha Extracts cartridges. Any chance you've heard of them? Never heard of them. Never heard of them. You ever seen anyone reverse Irene? I'm sure Caleb probably has. Probably. But I don't want to say it for sure. Maybe Pip? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Who bred Mr. Nice Guy? So Mr. Nice is G13 hash plant, originally bred by Neville, I believe, was the one who brought that over to Sensi. That's just G13 hash plant. It's just called Mr. Nice. Yeah, but I'm hella looking forward to the four-way. I really am. Do you think Victor Barn, Lone Ranger, or Beatrix Choice are still around? I heard Williams Wonder still around. There was a company called SickMed Seeds that put out a fake Williams Wonder a little bit ago. So that floats around, unfortunately. There is, what else we got? Res Dogs, Williams Wonder, IX that you can still get seeds of from people's collections, but it's pretty rare. As far as the Victor Barn, I've only seen bud shots of it. I put some up not too long ago, but it would take too long to scroll through my photos to put it up. Beatrix Choice, I've heard, still exists. But, you know, if you hear of anyone having them, let me know. But I'm going to grill them to make sure it's legit, you know. So reversing a female is to collect pollen, correct? I mean, you can let it rain freely and dust a whole room. You don't have to collect it. What does Master Yoda OG grow like? It's a short, squat, more indica, Afghani dominant version of OG Kush. It's pretty amazing. What's up, Matt? People asking about what I think I will find in the reversal of your four-way. Do you know Breadvive 42? I do not know them. House of Meds? No, Sick Meds. If that's the one Cult Classic using, yeah, it's not legit. Sick Meds is fucking hacks. Huh, what's up, brother? Do you happen to know anything about Romulan? Where is it from? What might it be? I went over that, I think, 3 episodes ago, but I'll briefly go over it. From what I was told by Breeder Steve, and he is a very good source on information like that about old BC strains and stuff that made it to BC, plus he was around during that era. From what he said was that it was originally from the Pacific Northwest. I know it's not yours, Matt, but still, it came from your Virginia guys, and as far as I'm concerned, it's your baby. I don't care if you bred it. I don't care about any of that. You're the one who puts the passion into it. You're the one who enlightened me to that four-way cut. So in my brain, it's always going to be yours. Romulan. So it was from the Pacific Northwest. I was told Washington area, Seattle, something like that. And I want to say he gave me the name that it was originally under. And I've also heard like Blue Indica or something, blue something. But then it made its way to Vancouver Island via Romulan Joe. And Romulan Joe didn't breed it. Not responsible for it. He was just responsible for growing a lot of it. That's the story. It was 1990s Romulan came around. There's stupid stories about it being from the 50s and whatnot, but it was a 90s clone and named during the 90s, renamed during the 90s. It may have existed earlier under a different name, but I can't remember. Does the Force have some nice Yoda OG phenos in the offspring? Yeah, it dominates. Story on Dr. Green Thumb. He was one of the first people offering feminized seeds this side of the pond. Whether they're absolutely pure and legit, I don't know, man. I don't know how he would have gotten access to certain clones or not. God only fucking knows, man. God only fucking knows. So yeah, he's not particularly nice, but I can't say anything bad about him other than that. And as far as good, his Endless Sky was good enough for D-Man to do an F-Gen of, the Endless Sky. Rumor is the 79 Romulan going around is Romberry. Any truth? There's no such thing as a 1979 Romulan, so I would immediately just walk away from it and just ignore it, because that's bullshit. Whoever's putting that out is retarded. Welcome, Omega Dawn. Glad you made it, man. I try to cover what I can cover. I'm not quite an Encyclopedia Britannica of shit, but I do my best to try to remember. I really wish I could remember California Blue something, but it wasn't from California. The Romulan. I can't remember what the blue thing is, but look up Romulan. Romulan Blue Indica. Maybe look that up and it might bring up the name. I'm not sure. Who bred the 79 Christmas bud? I don't know who originally bred it. I think it was a clone going around, and it was passed around by Indian guy, I believe, under the name Pine Tar Kush, or Hazeman confabulated the Pine Tar Kush, and it was really 79 Christmas Buddy popped. I don't know the full story, but yeah, that's what I do know about it. I don't trust any Romulan genetics here on the island. There must be 15 types. I believe it. See, and you're right there. You would know. You know. I have your limelight. What are the best phenos to look out for? It just depends on what your preference is. There's totally lime phenos that are more narrow leaf, super frosty, almost like lime Sprite, lime soda. It's really, really epic in that flavor. But there's also people pulling out pure skunk spray phenos with that same structure. So yeah, it's in there. That skunk pheno is in there, as it's in any of the Afghani crosses that I made. I might have to remake quite a few of those because there was so much epic shit I was finding in there, and I don't remake a lot of stuff. Romulan has grapefruit in its lineage. I don't think anybody knows necessarily what's in Romulan. I know the story goes Colombian gold and something else, but that's, I don't know. It looks like a little indica, so I'm not sure. Do you know anywhere to get a good Durban poison? No, I don't know. Not off the top of my head that you can just go buy it. Personal favorite, the Skittles crosses. I like the glass candy. I really the forest ones are really good, especially if you're cropping and like to do sea green style stuff. What else is there? There's a few other things. What's the average flowering time for MCF? I would say 9-10 weeks, right in there. Depends on where you like it. You know, there's no set flowering time for any plant. It depends on the high that you get from it that you like the best or that your customers like the best. That's a way to do it.
Yeah.
What's up, Miss Rose? Hazeman Seeds has a good Durban. I wouldn't know his source on that, so I would check it out, make sure that it is actually a Durban. Is Murray mad at you?
Oh, I let him out in the backyard with the leash, and all the dogs started going crazy, and he was trying to get up onto the tier.
Uh-huh.
Fucking hate shit.
Oh. Bryn's Diesel lineage again. That's the original Diesel crossed to Skittles BX3. What can you tell about the 88 G13 history-wise? Originally bought from Cincy Seeds, supposedly, probably more the seed bank. But originally supposed to be bought from Cincy Seeds by Swampy, a man named Swampy. He has since passed away. He did an F-Gen of that 1988 purchase, and Indian Guy distributed a lot of them to a lot of people. And I believe Indian Guy even did an F-Gen or had someone do an F-Gen. And it was given to me, Motor Rebel, I want to say Pig Farmer, and Old Hand. Old Hand gave a bunch of his to me. I had mine, and I passed those to Bodie. We were asked never to sell those for profit and only use it in hybrids. When I get stuff like that, I get real weary about using it. I don't stipulations. I don't even want to walk on anyone's toes, so I didn't do anything with it. But Bodie's done some fucking amazing shit with it, and been really great about respecting that. Motor Rebel, not so much. He was the first one to immediately break that promise, and had Hazeman F-Gen them and immediately sold them and hybridized it. Which hybridizing was okay, but wasn't supposed to be like that. Sub Rosa, 88 G13 hash plant repro. I didn't know he reproduced it, but I get along with Sub Rosa just fine. It's been long enough. Motor Rebel already broke the promise, so it's not like the cat was already out of the bag at that point, so anything he did with it would be good. Any info on Hermie reverse sprays? Yeah. Elite, You're from North Virginia. Used to drive the 64 Gauntlet up there. Yep. He's a Virginia guy. Virginia is for lovers. Yeah, the 88 G13 hash plant male that Bodie used was fucking epic. Epic. It crossed really well to a lot of stuff. I think I forgot what it was called. Deadly G, I want to say. Bristol Cali Haze. A Hermie reverse spray. It's just, I probably wouldn't, your optic foliar switch, are you trying to keep your plant from herming, like the female from throwing male flowers, or are you trying to make reverse lines and fem seeds? You wouldn't want to use optic foliar switch. Right now, I sell the leading brand of reversal spray, but I wouldn't call it Hermie reversal spray. So it's just a reversal spray, buddy. But the intent is for it to throw male flowers, right? Or you want it to produce pollen overall. The best thing to use is my spray, and I can say that genuinely. Other than Hive makes a great spray too. It's called Elite X Elite, hybridtech.com. So check out his as well. The major difference is the amount that you're getting for what you pay. You spotted bananas. Okay, so for shit like that, ethylene blockers, or I'm sorry, not ethylene blockers, you'd want an ethylene product. So something like optic foliar switch. I haven't used theirs, so I can't say that it works. But you can get it from using, Florel. But you'll have to figure out how much to use. Every plant's different. Some Dominion skunk. Awesome. Smoke it up. Smoke it up. Where can you get my spray? See this big banner behind me? www.riotseeds.nl. You will find the spray. What does the spray do? The one I sell, it makes feminized seeds. It causes a female plant to reverse and throw pollen. At that point, that pollen goes onto another plant, and that plant makes seeds that tend to dominate in female expression, but that's not the main point of using it as far as I go. I don't give a fuck if it's male or female, to be honest, but the idea usually is to either back up a line in its pure form without having to hybridize it. I don't like the idea of people being lazy and just only wanting to grow seeds for females, because when you start doing that shit, a male's going to pop up because nature finds a way. Or at least a plant will express as all male, I should say, because it's a fine line scientifically. What's the best time to spray? How long is it good for? It can be good for up to 4 years if you store it like in the instructions. The instructions are there for a reason. If you deviate from the instructions, it may not work. But if you follow the instructions to a T, it will always work, and it will always cause the plant to reverse. Now, whether that plant spits viable pollen or not, depending on the plant. But it will always reverse the plant. Followed instructions, day 7 and day 14 of flower. That's not my instructions. Every single day until you see balls, you spray. Yeah, that's not my instructions. I don't know whose instructions those are. Is this more natural compared to silver? This is a silver base. And when I say silver, I don't mean colloidal silver. If my bottle has the instruction, that's correct. Oh, switch? Oh, yeah, no. I don't know anything about switch. It's a silver base. It is not colloidal silver. It's an STS base, silver nitrate sodium thiosulfate base. But there's a lot more to it, and we've been developing it for over a decade to make it work as effectively as it does. But you start spraying on the first day of flower for whatever plant you're reversing, but you need to, the whole thing is timing. And I don't like telling people exactly how to do it because they're buying the spray to reverse the plant, and I like people to go research and learn what they're doing before they do it. A lot of people just want it to make magic and make seeds, and they don't go research it at all, and they just start spraying randomly. They don't really care. That's not how it fucking works, you know? Yeah. Stainless or at least dark or dark bottle. Yep, the silver turns the bottle dark. So, kind of does it itself. But yeah, it stores for 4 years in the fridge. Up to 4 years. That's the longest I've seen it store. But I don't think anybody's really tried it longer. It may store longer for all I fucking know. Yep. You can buy sodium thiosulfate and silver nitrate. There are, I mean, you can Google the instructions out there to make a cheap STS spray. And it does work, but it won't work on everything, and it won't always be the best method. Is there a way to keep from accidental pollination to have serious negative pressure in rooms where you're doing intentional pollination? Yeah, you know, at a point in my business, I had to come to the conclusion that either I'm going to make all seeds or I'm going to do all Sinsemilla. That's what it was, man. I had to make that decision because there's no real way to control pollen like that, especially negative pressure. Have you ever frozen or refrigerated seeds for longer periods of time? Yes. It's advised, but make sure you have it in a freezer. Even if you're putting it in the fridge, make sure you have a freezer Ziploc or something like that, something very thick, so no water's going to enter, no moisture. Do you have any strains available that use the RKS Afghan as a female? Go to the site and look. They're up there. Everything, genetics, flowering time, everything is on there for you to know. So it's all up there. Aren't regular seeds better or more stable? Not necessarily. That's an old wives' tale. It's probably one of the most annoying, ignorant old wives' tales that I've come across for years. And it's taken a long, long, long time to get people to understand what reversing is, what fem seeds are, their stability. It all depends, and this goes for all seeds. Shit in, shit out, right? What that means is if you're using shit breeding stock, whether regular or fem, no, it's okay. It's not. I'm glad you brought it up because I can address it. Shit in, shit out. Regular seeds or fem seeds. If you put shit in, meaning the parent stock hasn't been tested, you don't know if it's sexually stable. You haven't done all that work because you need to make sure it's sexually stable before you reverse a plant, because then you're going to have fucking problems. You want to reverse a plant that normally won't herm under, pretty stressful conditions, right? So shit in, shit out. You work with shit, regular or fem. The resulting progeny is always going to be sexually unstable. If it's not sexually stable when you work with it, it's not going to be sexually stable after, whether fem or regular. You're not changing the actual genetics of a plant with fem stock. In fact, when you spray a female, a lot of people don't realize this and don't know because they haven't made fem seeds before. But when you're spraying a plant to reverse it, if you stop spraying and you keep that female that is turned male and thrown out all kinds of different fucking male parts, if you leave that in flower, I totally fucked up and said you're absolutely changing genetics of a plant, not the DNA though. Sorry, I had to correct that because I caught myself. But when you spray that plant, you put it in flower, you leave it in flower, it'll revert back to a female. It'll stop spitting all the male flowers out. It'll turn back to a female and begin at week 1 at flower for a female. So you're not like changing the DNA of the plant by spraying it. That's another misconception when it comes to reversals. There's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to reversals. Good. Pick up a lot of CSI stuff, and you can order from him directly on his site. I think at csihumboldt.com. Order his shit. Support him. Great dude. One of the best dudes in the business. You won't find a lot of breeders suggesting other breeders because they worry about it taken out of their pocket. But dude, I look at it like the more people growing genetics from amazing breeders out there, the more amazing stuff's getting made, the more it benefits everyone. That means there's stuff out there for me to use that's better. Will reverse seeds breed hermaphroditism into a breeding line? I just got done saying shit in, shit out. That was what that all was about. Maybe you missed it, but yeah, no. Not if it's sexually stable and you use it correctly. If the line's sexually stable and you reverse it, it's going to be good. If it's not sexually stable, it's going to be bad. Is it unstable if it herms naturally and pollinates the room? That is unstable as shit. You would not want to use that. Story on Lemon G. I have no clue. My buddy Pip is very experienced with Lemon G. I'm not sure if he's in here. Can you explain Karma's Josh D. OG? Do the phenos come out just like the original Josh D cut? No, because he doesn't use the original Josh D cut in it. It's Josh D in name only. What about Chem 91? What would you like to know about that? You heard it herms on its own. It can. Any plant will herm on its own if you torture it enough. The idea is to get a sexually stable plant when good growers are growing it. That's where I draw the line. Grow it as best you can. If it herms then we have a fucking problem. If not, you know. His Chem 91 has a lot of people growing it. He's grown thousands and thousands of them. So it's pretty solid. Herms are unstable. Yeah, well, okay. When breeders talk about instability, usually they're referring to phenotypical variation. They're not referring to sexual stability. Sexual stability is a completely different thing than unstable. So keep that in mind. When talking to breeders, if you're using the term unstable, usually it means phenotypical variation, not herming. As long as, if you're going to, okay, I'll say it again. I'll try to put it into, like, use some better wording here. If you're going to reverse a plant and make fem seeds with it, make sure that it doesn't herm on its own when you're growing it well. Smoky. Do S1s have hermy tendencies? You must have just got in here. You must have just entered this because for the past 15 minutes I've been explaining it. Water does deactivate pollen. Smokey might just have gotten in here or something. Do S1s have hermy tendencies? Only if the breeder hasn't tested it for sexual stability. It's very variable. There's no set. It's kind of like asking, is that going to get me high? You know, am I going to like that high on that plant? How could I ever answer that? I don't know what your brain chemistry is like, your body chemistry. In your S1 seeds with the P91, have you ever found a better pheno expression that was better than the original expression? I totally think so. I totally think so. I think so, but better is, again, subjective or objective. I always get that one wrong. Yeah, but so do S1s. I love you guys. Do you have to wear a wife beater when you spray the Hermes spray? I like to do it naked or in my boxers, but I don't recommend everyone do that. You should probably wear a mask. You should probably suit up and wear something that you don't mind turning black, but I don't ever do that. No, I'm good, babe. I go au natural. It's totally possible for the S1 to exceed the parent. In most cases, you will find something that you like better than the parent. To try to explain that, I have to explain genetics from their base, from a very basic explanation. But I mean, in an S1, what you're going to see are parental phenotypes. So if you choose a clone, that clone has come from a seed line, right? Someone has selected that clone from a seed line. They did the selection, and that may not even be the best expression from that line, but it's what gets passed around the most. And if you're not running the same seeds, you're never going to know. So when someone S1s that clone, you're going to see all of its brothers and sisters show up that you would have seen in the line from the original seed line. You're going to see all those expressions show up, and maybe even more from the parents and the grandparents. And they're definitely is a very good chance with all the phenotypes involved in all these crosses that are being S1 that you'll find something that you like more than that single clone. If you spray it on your crotch, your dick will fall off, and that's just part of it. It happened to me, it happens to people, you just get used to it. JBZ told me on one of his lines that it would harm early in its life if pushed, but after environmental acclimation it would settle. I found it to be true with the variety in question. Generally true or BS? Acclimation is huge, and that's not just for fem seeds, that's for regular seeds. Here's another a good point, something that people don't normally bring up. Acclimation in seeds, and I think it's one of the most important ones. So I'm going to ignore questions for a second just to explain this, because this is something I wish everybody knew. When a breeder is making seeds, he is using a male and a female or a reverse line, whatever. It's been, hopefully, they've grown it long enough to know the plant before they cross it, which means that it's been acclimated to their room or environment, be it outdoors if they're making the seeds outdoors, which isn't advisable. But it's been acclimated to that. If that person has been growing that plant for at least 2 years, the plant has acclimated to his environment. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe this. He's had it for 2 years. It's gotten used to certain kinds of lights. It's gotten used to certain kinds of feeds. It's even gotten used to certain kinds of pesticides being applied from time to time. All that stuff goes into what it passes on to its seed memory, into its little embryos. When you pop those seeds, if it's in a completely different environment from the mother plants, you might have problems with it. I always recommend, and this everybody who grows should already know this. If you grow something from seed, take a clone of it, grow that clone, it'll come out different than the actual seed. It's very, very, very obvious that a clone is different than the seedling plant that was taken off of. So I always recommend run a seed line one time. Don't put it in your major flower room where it can fuck up and herm. Never do that. Always flower it the first time in a test tent or a test room or whatever you have. It's never flower a seedling in a room, especially when you've never ran a line you don't know. Let it acclimate to your grow and run it then. You'll get better results, more resin production. It'll be acclimated to your grow. It'll be happier. You'll be able to symbiotically move with that plant and grow with the plant as opposed to just growing the plant. Find the seed and clone. Terps are usually very similar, but morphological difference is huge. Absolutely. Terps are going to be terps. Morphological difference is going to be very, 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 not always, but it will be different in many cases. That's the best way to put it. Do you know any info on Bodie's Appalachia male? I don't know if High and Lonesome's in here, but he is the original breeder of the Appalachia. Green Crack across to Trey Dog. Trey Dog was his, I think it was supposed to be his cubing of the Chem D, if I remember correctly. And Green Crack's Green Crack. High and Lonesome's going to be releasing more of those seeds very soon. Which pack should you pop first? Do the bubblegum Skittles. Nobody's popping many of those, and they're fucking amazing. What if everything's been ran inside and tested, but make the crosses outside? That's a lot of variability and taking a lot of chance. I don't recommend making crosses outside. Pollen contamination is a real thing. How's the heirloom Afghani different from the roadkill? The heirloom Afghani is just the Afghani itself. The roadkill Afghani had sour dub involved, and sour dub is a different kind of Afghani, so it does change it. But I think it makes it even more potent. I do. I think the roadkill Afghani had a lot more potency than just the heirloom Afghani on its own. Heirloom Afghani had a better tendency to kick out the skunk spray terps. Just to clarify, S1 of a cutting will produce seeds that are same as the seeds that created the cutting. No. Only if it's an IBL line will you see it producing exact same mirror image of the cutting. Otherwise, you're going to get phenotypical variation in anything you run. And environment influences that as well. And there's microclimates. There's all kinds of different. I mean, I don't know. This is stuff that get marijuana botany. Read it. All of you read it. Drill it. Know it. It would help a lot. It would help with your growing. Even if you're not a breeder, it would help with your growing and understanding microclimates, what to expect in a hybrid by looking at its parents. You should know how much variability is going to be coming out, and at least roughly how much variability to expect. What do you know about the pre-98 Bubba? Fletcher, god damn, I wish you would just come on with me. 8 different males, pollen's going in 8 different open air greenhouses. There you go. Fletcher knows way more about the pre-98. I've given an answer about this and it was incorrect, so I want Fletcher to do it. Hopefully he'll chime in. Best time spent on the toilet, marijuana botany. Goddamn right. Same genetic possibilities as that of the created parent. Yes, I think, if I understand what you're saying, yes. I think you got it. So if I get seeds from organic breeder and use chemicals, it would be less vigorous or affected or have to be acclimated. Just acclimate it. Acclimate it anyways. Awesome. Let me know. Click the add to whenever you're ready, Fletch. Sorry. So growing out the seedling and letting a clone acclimate is the way to go. Absolutely. In my opinion, that's the way to go. I bet this is something no one ever thought would happen. Me and Fletcher on a live feed together. So the heirloom Afghani US1 has low variability because it's basically a P1 line. You know, I don't know. With the heirloom Afghani, because it was from a bag seed, I don't know how pure of an Afghani it was, but there is low variation. But there is still variation. You could pop a pack of 6 and get 6 different phenos, with a few being very similar. So keep that in mind. Yeah, P1's kind of a when using it correctly, it's kind of implying landrace, and I don't know that it's a landrace. Dosey King in the house. That's right. I sit here in a fucking Indian style, sitting and my fucking hips are killing me. Fat guys shouldn't sit Indian style. Oh yeah, the haters will be cringing. Heirloom Afghani bag seeds. So the heirloom Afghani came from a dude named Bite Me, and he collected these seeds from some Afghani he was moving in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. Matt's a dick like that, hire supplier. Root Brothers and Flavor Packing today. I'm stoked. What's Root Brothers and Flavor Pack?